Um, I think we were very physical throughout the entire game, but I think ultimately it was our transition defense that kind of let them get the lead in the third. Their shooters hit a couple quick ones in the third quarter in transition, and we weren't able to convert and get stops.
The defense was strong offensively in the first half, which allowed you to maintain the lead throughout the first half. What do you think was the big key there in the first half to be able to get out to a 6 early and then maintain the lead like you did?
Just fighting. You know, we have a lot to fight for. I think we knew it was going to be a big game, and we wanted to be physical, and I think we did that throughout the entire first half. A couple fouls, but we expected that. So I think overall, we executed our game plan offensively. You know, a couple shots didn't go our way, but I think just execution of the game plan and being physical on defense, doubling, rotating, playing together.
Both teams had one made three-pointer in the first half. What's it like there in the second half when North Dakota State starts making their threes? They made 6 threes in the second half, and then you and your teammates didn't make any threes. What's it like when your opponent starts making threes like that?
I mean, we're going to stick to our game plan. What we didn't do was, you know, we got lost in transition a bit, and that's when they were able to hit those threes and I guess regain the lead and kind of take off from there. So I think next time we just got to hone in on our transition D and try to be focused on that for a full 40 minutes. They're a good team. They're going to make plays. It's about how much we can just be physical and execute our game plan.
And there in the second half, there was times to where you and some of your teammates had some good looks down in the paint and they weren't able to go in. Would you say that's kind of sometimes those are going to go in, sometimes there's not, or do you think their defense was maybe a little strong, which caused the misses?
I mean, yeah, they're a good team. I mean, they sent a lot of bodies at us, but I trust in, Molly works her butt off in practice every day. She's going to hit those shots. We're going to hit those shots. I mean, it's one of those games where we knew there were going to be tough shots. It's nothing easy. So,
yeah. I'm just more curious too. Just offensively, it seemed like at times in the second half you guys got a little stagnant. Did you sense that too, or?
I would say so. We're trying to figure out which matchup we want to pick on. So I guess we took a little time to decide that. So that's why we were pretty stagnant. But we got it. We got the right matchups for the most part.
Yeah. How about just defensively, the challenge of slowing down Avery as well too? I know you guys have seen her already once this year, but it just seemed like she was drawing a lot of contact too when she would get inside.
Yeah, Avery is a very good player. She knows how to draw contact, finish strong. She made some tough shots, but we expected that. I think our main thing today was just communicating better on transition and just being more aggressive with the guards. Avery's going to do her thing. We have to, as guards, step up and make it harder for everybody else.
Yeah, you guys had some early foul trouble. Patience had 2 in 1:30. You sat for most of the second quarter. Do you think just kind of the lack of rhythm from you and Patience kind of helped contribute a little bit to what seemed like a lot of isolation basketball in that first and mainly second half?
I wouldn't say so. I would say, okay, I got in foul trouble. We have other people that can step up. Molly had a great first half. Tori came in and gave us some really good minutes. We had Jenna being physical in the post helping out. I don't think if someone goes down, we have other people that can step up. And I think we just need to work together more and just be better communicators in transition. That's what happened in the third quarter.
You guys, in that first half, I noticed, went to a lot of motion defensively, sending multiple bodies from the perimeter over at Avery. Did that take a little more out of you than you thought, doing all of that constant back and forth, trying to get back out to shooters after chipping down to help?
I'd say we worked on the game plan these past couple of days in practice, so we knew that it was going to be taxing, but we know that we also have to be very physical, so we were mentally prepared for that part. I don't think it took anything out of us. She's a good player. She's going to make tough shots. We just have to be able to execute on offense.
And we'll do the last question here for Angie, and then we'll let her get with her teammates.
Yep. Yeah, my last one here. Just you've seen these guys twice now. You held a lead at halftime this time. What do you think you can take away from this one heading into Summit Leagues where you are hopefully going to have to see them again to win a league title there?
Yeah, we're going to remember this one for sure. It doesn't feel great, especially on a senior night. So we're going to take this one on the chin and, treat it how the same way we're going to treat whoever we see in the tournament. We're going to be physical. We're going to be hunting for a win, and we're going to do everything that it takes. We're all we have. We're all we need. So we're good. We're fine.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Angie.
Coach, just walk me through, that second half when they were able to put together that run and what you felt like was the difference there.
Yeah, I mean, they made some adjustments after the first half, just kind of getting a little bit more space for Coonan to operate in the paint. And so anytime you're bringing doubles, you get a little bit vulnerable on the perimeter. What they went to in the second half made it a little bit easier for them to find their shooters off the kickouts out of the doubles. So I felt like there was a stretch where, our offensive possessions, we maybe had, I thought we had a couple good looks that didn't go down. In that stretch, they hit a couple threes, and then we turned it over a couple times, and they just kind of were able to get it to where it was comfortable. That kind of 8-10 point lead, and I felt like once it got to that, we just we couldn't cut it back to, a manageable situation where it was, 4-6, something like that, where we felt like we could get in it or stay in it. But really, I feel like we did a great job of getting to the free throw line. We won the offensive rebounding battle. They're a team that, they're pretty physical and obviously they're big. So to out rebound them on the offensive end, 12-4, we had a good advantage. We had 10 more shots, So points in the paint, it's tough to outscore them in the paint when they've got Coonan and they've got Asp down there. But from the three-point line is obviously where the difference was. They were, I think, 6 for 8. Something like the 6 for 7 or 8 in the second half. And I feel like that was maybe the difference, obviously, in the game. 6 for 8 in the second half.
Offensively, too, it seemed like at times in the second half you guys got a little stagnant. What was
Yeah.
the sense from that? What was sort of the offensive approach there?
Yeah. I felt like there were some matchups, that we felt like we liked better than others. I think, there's a couple things. One, when we picked up our dribble, they do a pretty good job of locking up, and we kind of got into it standing a little bit too much there in the third quarter. So the movement, wasn't as good, but like I said, I felt like for the most part, we got some really good looks at the rim. We just didn't get some of them to go. I mean, I felt like Molly had, probably 5 or 6 shots today that those are looks that, she makes pretty consistently that she could not get to go down. Even that kind of foul she got late, she couldn't get the and one. Just shot, it's like they rimmed out and she just couldn't get them to go down.
Yeah, and patience too with the early foul trouble. How did that? Do you feel like that affected this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's one of our best post defenders, and physicality wise and length. For her to only play in this game for 9 minutes, obviously we didn't get her involved in the offense at all. She just wasn't in the game enough and in the flow enough, really on either end to impact anything.
You probably had an idea that North Dakota State was going to make some type of run in the second half, but there in the first half you got out to a 6-0 lead, and outside of like maybe a minute where they tied and took a 3-point lead twice, what do you think was the key with how your team was able to get out to it quickly and then maintain the lead throughout most of the first half?
Yeah, I mean, I think offensively, we were in attack mode. I think we did a great job of forcing them to chase us a little bit on the offensive end, and then defensively, I thought our team executed the game plan extremely well. I thought we did a really good job of making Coonan really think about whether or not we were going to be there. did a good job of shrinking the floor on her and making things really tough on her. And then, like I said, in the second half, they did a pretty good job. They made an adjustment, and they just kind of spaced the floor and just kept putting her in ball screens and letting her roll. And I think it made it a lot easier for her to find those kickouts out of the double teams.
There was some foul trouble, like Angelina wasn't able to play as much in the second quarter as you would have liked. How pleased were you with players like Molly Joyce and maybe some others stepping up in that absence to be able to keep the lead there in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, when Angie went out in the second quarter, it's pretty early. I think it was like seven minutes maybe left in the quarter. So she's not used to. She only played 32 minutes today. She's not used to that. She's usually playing quite a few more minutes than that. But yeah, I thought Tori did a great job stepping up. Obviously, Molly, Olivia Moore gave us some minutes there while Angie was in foul trouble. And Tori didn't take a bunch of shots, but I thought she obviously was able to be effective. 9 points and 6 rebounds. She really stepped up for us as well. Molly played the point a little bit. That's not something that we do a lot, but with them pressuring the backcourt a little bit, it was kind of like whichever guard is bringing it's going to kind of play the point anyways. That's she did a great job of that, and we trust her with the ball, so it worked out. If Angie's going to be out, Molly handles the ball pretty well as well.
There wasn't a lot of three-point attempts from your team in the game, and both teams just had one made three in the first half. In the second half, when North Dakota State starts making their threes like they made 6 in the second half, and when they start to extend their lead like they do, as a coach, do you always want to keep with your game plan of trying to attack down low, or do you ever want to say, hey, the lead is getting big, so we do probably need to make a couple of threes to get back in the game?
Yeah, I think it depends on, the game, the situation. They're a team that protects the three-point line decently well, especially, they stay with their matchups a lot. They'll switch some ball screens, but they stay with their matchups. And we could have drawn up some plays or ran some of our plays for shooters, but we also had a huge advantage from the free throw line. So, we wanted to continue to try to attack, and sometimes that's a 3-point play as well. And like I said, Molly had multiple opportunities where she get fouled at the rim, and the shots were in and out. So. That's kind of the old-fashioned 3-point play, but that's kind of what the strategy that we were utilizing.
Is there any thoughts of this game was much closer than the first time you played North Dakota State, and you probably learned something from both times you played them now? Is there any thoughts of we learned something from both these games, and now we'll just see maybe we might run into them again in the conference tournament, or is that not really a thought much in the
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every time you play a team like them, you learn a lot. About them, but also about your team. And we definitely made some progress from where we played them the first time. And obviously, they're a tough team to guard. They were right on par today with their average. It's really hard to hold them down because if you guard Coonan and it's tough to guard her one-on-one. But if you bring doubles, then they've got shooters all around her. Asp is a really good post player and kind of holds her own and can go get her. So, they've got a lot of weapons, and so you got to kind of pick and choose your poison. And we definitely learned some things, like I said, about them and about us.
Yeah, a couple quick ones for me. Just it felt like Elise didn't have as much of an impact offensively as maybe she has in the past. Did you feel like there was maybe an opportunity, looking back on it, for her to get a little more involved, try and drag some of their bigs out, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, she took 7 shots. That was definitely part of the plan. I think there were a few times where maybe we just attacked before it got to her. But. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where if we're pushing in transition and we see an opportunity before it gets moved, then it just didn't get to her. But yeah, I mean, today we ran We ran less probably screens and some of the movement away from the ball than we typically do, which sometimes gets her a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I love trying to figure out your triggers defensively in that first half. It was so interesting. Was there any worry that it was going to tax your girls a little bit more, especially as you started getting into foul trouble, given how much back and forth on the chipping and all that stuff it took to get back out to shooters?
Yeah, I mean, I think to defend them, you're going to have to expend a lot of energy. And we were expending quite a bit of energy in that first half. And like you said, when you have two of your kids, that are starters that are in foul trouble pretty much, I mean, Patience was right away, and Angie 3 minutes into the second quarter. Yeah, it definitely, is impactful on the rest of the team. But at the same time, if you don't do it, then you're trying to play one-on-one in there.
All right, awesome.
We good?
Yeah,
All right, thanks, guys.